Hi, Joe Cerrone. In this video, we're going to take a look at dual extrusion printing of this logo. And so I have this logo here on AutoCAD. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up for dual extrusion printing. And you can see we have three colors here. We have the gray, we have the green, and we have the white. And so we have one more color than we need. And so what we're going to do is we're going to print the gray with extruder number 1 and the green with extruder number 2. And we're going to assign those using AutoCAD or Cura. But before we can do that, we need to get the alignment set up in the different layers. And we need to export these as STL. And so we're going to export this as an STL. We're going to start off by taking an isometric view. And then we're going to take a look at some of the measurements. And so we're going to measure the distance. And we can see that it's 2.5 millimeters. And so we have a thickness of 2.5 millimeters. And I'm probably going to make this a little bit thicker because the last time I printed this, it was just too thin. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to move the green and white to a known location. And so what we'll do is we'll draw a line here. I'm going to put these on two different layers. I'm going to call it layer base and layer top. All right, so this one's on layer object and it's gray. We'll just call it layer 1. And layer 2. Layer 1 will make gray. And layer 2 will make green. Okay, we're going to put this on layer 1. And then I'll turn layer 1 off. And if we take a look at layer number 2, we can look at the measurement for that. And we can measure the distance. And so that's 1.5 millimeters. So we have 1 millimeter to work with. And then if we move this, if we turn our other layer back on, and actually I'm going to move it before I turn that layer on. And we'll move it from this endpoint to this endpoint. And then I'll turn the other layer back on. All right, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to export this as an STL. And then we're going to export this as a second STL. So we'll say export. And I'm just going to put this in my downloads. And then I'm going to move this over to the location so that the coordinates are lined up. And so I'm going to move the owl from this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay, now that we have them lined up, I'm going to turn off layer 1. And I'm going to export. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into Cura. And then we're going to open up both of our files. So here's my base. And I'm going to assign it to extruder number 1, which will be a silver metallic PLA. And then I'm going to open my other layer. And I'm going to assign that to extruder number 2. I'm going to select all. I'm going to right click and merge the models. And everything has lined up without any need to go into an intermediary program to line things up. I'm going to scale this down. It's a 4-hour print, and this is at fine. So we're going to select the scale, and we're going to scale this to, let's go with 25%. And we're down to about 7 minutes. So that's a little small. Let's go with 50%. It's a little bit longer. Let's go with 30%. All right, so we can print this in 11 minutes using dual extrusion. And what we'll do is we'll save that to a USB and we'll print that. We preview it. You can see that we have 6 layers. And we'll save that to disk as OWL dual extrusion. And then we'll eject it and print it on our Ultimaker 3.0 extended printer. Okay, so let's take a look at this. That completes this video on dual extrusion printing.